Ladies and gentlemen, now it's only taken 10 years, a mere decade of human existence and time, to reach this moment today, this very day, the day that Kabam add in a trial run of what could be a pity system that then gets expanded to more crystals outside of three rather old characters. But one of them is a banger. I would say maybe all three of these could be argued for a banger, but I think especially Luke Cage is catching a lot of attention at the moment, and the Nova fan club is very, very strong as well. So, pity systems, if you haven't played, and good for you, if you haven't been down the capture rabbit hole, the hellhole, the landscape that is, and are familiar with pity systems in other games, it basically, after a certain amount of crystals, after a certain amount of summons, it guarantees that you're going to get something good. And that has never been the case in Marvel Contest of Champions. We have done many crystal openings in the past at various eras of the game, 4-star, 5-star, 6-star. You know, we've gone 100 plus crystals and still not got the top star. So what this is going to do initially will guarantee on these three specific banners a 7-star champion, not the 7-star champion, just a one that's in the basic pool, every 30 crystals. And every 5 crystals will guarantee a 6-star champion as well. So I would say, you know, looking at other gachas and the frequency of kind of a high tier milestone guaranteed, that foundation is pretty good there. However, if you're looking to get the specific character, it is a much, much longer grind. Now, if we jump into a little bit more detail here, again, it is going to be a 200 crystals open count if you want to guarantee the 7-star featured character, but it does carry over between crystal pools. So I think it carrying over is a really big positive, because a lot of gacha games don't do this. However, 200, man, dude, that is absolutely ridiculously deep for one featured 7-star champion. So I'm not the biggest fan of the 200. I feel like it could be 100 and still be fine, like 30,000 units deep for a featured character. I think, especially on older ones, like, I think that sounds a bit more reasonable, although it's still, like, again, a really, really insane amount of units that nobody would spend unless they're, like, super obsessed with that character. But yeah, I think the 200 again is pretty deep, but there is a bit of give and take in this. You know, I like every 30 crystals, it's a guaranteed 7-star. The carrying over between crystal pools, like both of these feature-wise, are big wins. And I like that both of these could also be applied to other things in the future. Again, this is just kind of the first test of this. I hope it goes well for them, and that we see kind of more incentives like this. One thing I would say I'm a little bit on the edge about, and I encourage you to have a think about as well, and let me know how you think about this in the comment section below. So every 5 crystals without at least a 6-star will guarantee a 6-star. So I don't know how I feel about this, because I don't really want to, like, pay 300 units and get a 6-star. Even at this point, if I'm paying like 300 units, I want at least a chance at the 7-star. So I'd kind of like, if this was like a 6-star or above, right? If it was like a, you know, like a 90-10 split, I don't want that 5th crystal to always be fixed at a guaranteed 6-star, so that I know that, oh, okay, the next one I've just got like 5 stars. I know I'm paying 300 units for the 6-star. And it's a little bit of a weird one, but I'm kind of at that point where I don't really care about the 6 stars as much. I just view them as shards. So I'd still kind of like the gambler's chance of getting a 7-star, and don't want to open a crystal where I know that there is no possible outcome of it landing on a 7-star. So yeah, that's just something that I don't know how I feel about at the moment. I probably will know more once I go deeper into this banner, but I feel like it's going to come very frequently and feel very bad. It's going to be like, oh, I'm just going to need to, you know, pay 300 units for a 6-star. And it's not like the worst trade in all-time history. It's maybe just like a little bit annoying if you're, you know, just looking to gamble and get the CEO luck and hit the jackpot. So yeah, a little bit of an interesting and weird one there. But yeah, I'm curious to see how these crystals feel again, the approach that they're doing it with Luke Cage, Nova, and Hurt, they are not initially going into newer characters on this, but I really hope they do, because it is one thing where, like, nobody really cares for the majority of characters about going in for the bundles and kind of opening the new crystals, just because the drop rates are so ridiculously low. And I think on the flip side, it feels like, at least for me, and I think general availability in the game as well, is like there's a lot of ways to get 7-star shards, 7-star Titan shards, especially in the last couple of months. And it just feels like, whenever you're opening Paragon or Valiant crystals, they feel really, really bad at the moment, because there's you can just hit such a long dry spell where you don't get anything good. I've had many stacks of Paragons and Valiants where, we've gone 50, 100, and it's just been like, well, that was just an absolute waste of time. So I think, having in this guaranteed 7-star net, where you go every 30 crystals of that one, you're going to get one guaranteed, is going to feel good, because it's going to be like that copium of like, okay, we're 20 down, but we haven't seen a 7-star. There's one guaranteed in the next stack. Like that's going to feel really nice there. But yeah, I feel like, again, the potentially more spicy thing is if we see these on new character banners, and the new characters are pretty hype and really exciting to chase after. Which, again, there's a bit of hit and miss with certain new characters in Marvel Contest of Champions nowadays. But I think Okiye from last month is an absolute banger. I'd love to go on a feature banner for that, and I think, having the guaranteed 7-star, as long as it also has a chance to give you the featured as well, and the featured isn't just, completely locked out of chance unless you go to 200 pity, is going to be a pretty damn interesting time there for the spenders. But I also hope that we see this type of thing kind of moving into other crystals in the future, because I think we're kind of at a point in the game, especially in a lot of progression, where it's a little bit more needed as well to kind of juice up the gain for 5 stars and 6 stars early game, just help people get through Act 5, Act 6. So yeah, it's just nice to kind of make these crystals a little bit more valuable and give people something to look forward to. And for the Paragon crystals, there's going to be a slight difference on these, where it's going to be you have to go 60 to get a guaranteed 7-star, and 10 for a 6-star. And also Paragon crystals are going to be available to Cavalier. And I think it's literally just for this specific cluster of featured crystals there. So it's not absolutely everything, but it's a little bit more to have a look at there. We also, on this live stream, got a look at Ares, who is going to be the final boss of a new challenge coming next month, which is kind of like the, Eternity of Pain challenge, where you have the Thanos at the end. Ares is going to be the final boss of it. So it's all of the pain bosses. And this thing, I imagine, is going to be absolutely relentless. I think the Thanos actually was quite an easy ending for that challenge, where it looks like Ares is just going to be a little bit of a nightmare to deal with. Learning a new boss at the end of a gauntlet of incredibly difficult fights as well. Again, there's a lot, but again, with the live stream, we do have a fairly specific reveal, actually, of the map. So you can probably do a lot more preparation as well, just in terms of researching the bosses and theory crafting teams. I feel like I've kind of done like half of these bosses just between, being active and not being active, and also doing the latest challenge as well. So yeah, I'm curious to see what is going to be like the easiest path there. I kind of lean toward the Heimdall one. I love fighting that Heimdall, man. Heimdall's like super fun to deal with once you get a good handle on that fight. But it is pretty horrible fight to learn, to be fair. It's a little bit awkward there. But yeah, this one ain't looking too bad. And also this this Cassie Lang as well. I haven't done the I think the Toad fight, the Iron Fist, and also the Gwenpool. I can't specifically remember these three. But yeah, initially I feel like I'm just gravitating toward the comfort of kind of knowing like Cassie, Heimdall, and also Prowler like aren't too bad to deal with. So I need to do my homework when it comes to these three. But yeah, looking at the paths as well, if you are a Giga Sweat that spent a lot of time doing these challenges, Let me know which one you think is going to be the easiest for initial completion. I'm sure, with all this information, I'm sure it's probably going to be figured out or theory crafted before the content actually ends up going live there. So, going to be a little bit interesting there. So, yeah, this is going to be arriving on February 12th there. 4 different paths, 6 total runs. Players have a team size of 3. The start point splits into a section that has a dual class gate. Science and Tech is the left path, Skill and Cosmic is the middle path, and Mutant and Mystic is the right path. The paths then split into either a 2x 7-star gate or a 3x 7-star gate, requiring players to have designated number of 7-star champions on their team. We love the peasant gates, man. They're back at it again. I feel like in comparison to when 6.2 went live, the average person is in a much better spot with their 7-star roster, but this is still going to be quite the chase, I think, to get the right characters that are going to be very, very good for this. I think we're going to need to see like the sum total of all the utility that's required to deal with the paths and like what options are available for people. But yeah, 2x 7-star and the 3x 7-star gates they're pretty heavy requirements. In terms of that. So we'll see how that pans out. So let's have a look at the rewards for this. So for completion, you've got a tier 7 basic catalyst here, a 2 to 3 rank up gem, 4 tier 4 alpha catalysts, although there are only 3 there. I imagine there's maybe one on the path or something. There's going to be a Titan crystal, XP tokens for leveling up, and also a special title. And the exploration is a 3 to 4 rank up gem crystal. So that is first guaranteed rank 4 for many players there, but it's going to be random. So a little bit interesting. And then you got a Titan Nexus. You have a 7-star 1 of 5 Titan Nexus. Okay, so this is like an expanded Nexus there. 1 of 5, pretty good. I like that. Definitely, 2 better than 1 of 3. 7-star generic awakening gem, some more XP tokens, a special profile picture, and then also you have the chests, 1 per class. I imagine you get 6 of these, if I'm not mistaken. I may be. 7-star class hero crystal, 4 tier 6 CC, a 7-star 1 to 2 class gem, 50 class signature stones. That's pretty good if you get, 50 of each of them? Yeah, that's very, very nice there. And then 2,000 Awakening Gem shards as well, and that is for the 7-star Awakening Gem crystal. So that should be a random and a bit, alongside the generic Awakening Gem as well. So yeah, for endgame players, this thing is absolutely cracked with all of the Sig Stones, the rank up Gem crystal, the additional tier 7 basic combined with, I think there's like the Karina Challenge one. I think most kind of sweaty grinders are going to be very close to, well, they're going to get their first rank 4, but then they're going to be very close to their second as well. So yeah, big challenge coming. I'm actually really, really looking forward to this one and hoping to get caught up a little bit on content and potentially, if we're feeling a little bit brave as well, give it a live stream. But I'm really, really looking forward to Ares, man. Again, I love some of the new original bosses that Kabam do, and it's always nice to see them like put some proper effort into designing like a proper kind of end of season boss fight. So yeah, Ares is looking pretty damn cool, and I think we're about to see his special 3 there. But it just makes you want a playable Ares, doesn't it? I remember, what was it, Marvel Future Revolution? There was an Ares boss. Look at that ult, it's awesome, man. It's really, really cool. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, quite a bit of news and things to talk about today. And on top of that, we got the new characters. We got Armand Zola. We got a Science Falcon as well. So yeah, a few interesting things coming. I'm excited to have a look into Armand Zola. Armand Zola just kind of reminded me a little bit of like, I know this is a very stupid comparison, but like a little bit like Tech Mantis, because you just kind of put the opponent to sleep. But Armand Zola then also spams on like a crazy like heavy attack wombo combo. His damage does seem a little bit slow. It kind of seems like he's primarily built to be a defender. But the character does look really cool, and I just love spamming heavy attacks in the corner. And I think he's got quite an interesting mechanic where like you can either shut down and just prevent your opponent using, either the special 1 or special 2. So I'm just trying to think, like, is there any boss or opponent where this is just like super abused on, you know? Is there anything where it just doesn't activate a special 3 and you can just shut down the only special attack it uses and just infinitely spam heavies in the corner like that? That might be fun. I feel like the game's got so many scenarios. I can't think of something off the top of my head, but it would be cool if a scenario or node like that does exist. I'm almost certain it's going to come up at some point. Some crazy almond Zola cheese. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching today's video, kind of talking about some of the highlights of the MCOC live stream. If you did enjoy it, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching. Take care. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.